Hey guys, how are you? Today we are here talking about our favorite show. We May Rant. It's showtime.
You need to make it 5 words. We are.
How's that opening?
We are here.
How's that
We
opening?
are here eager.
How's that opening?
Perfect.
Perfect opening.
I came out my nose.
I came out my nose.
As you choke on your water.
No, it was ginger ale. That's even worse.
Guardians was so funny. I almost did that with soda.
With
I
soda?
didn't expect a joke. I can't remember what one it was, but it was so fucking good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was it good? Apple? Cherry?
What? Vanilla Diet Coke.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I think
Every time we do the podcast.
Wait, are we going?
yeah, hit play, hit start.
Yeah, we're on. Oh,
Excellent.
Listen, we're different. We're
That
not-
was
we're-
backstage behind the scenes information.
Yeah, why not? Do something. Not every show has to open up perfect, as we just proved that. All right, so you got Angel here, you got Mr. Randy, Mr. Heath, coming to you live. Yes, I like to say the word live. All right, we're live.
No, Mr. Randy.
Mr.
Randy
Randy.
isn't his last
Well,
name.
last time I said Sir Randy, and you said, "Can we get this straight up?" He is not knighted. Remember? So I said, so I went with Mr. Randy. It's not good.
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
Did you say it was gonna be bad? I remember that line.
You remember that?
I remember that line. All right, well, let's talk about, well, first of all, let's do this. How was your week? Let's start with you. We started, no, not you, Cody. We'll start with Heath. How was your week? So we started with Cody last time. Not you, Cody.
It was good.
Yeah, what'd you do?
Spoke to authors like Anne Rice and Neil Gaiman's assistant for a project I'm working on.
What project is that? Are you allowed to say or no?
I can't really go too into details.
All right, great talking to you.
Yeah,
Let's go
thank
to
you. Let's move on. just move on. No, but it involves a lot of today's hottest comic book writers and a lot of award-winning and best-selling novelists. So I'm really excited about it. That's about as much as I can go into it.
All right.
But there will be a Hustle and Heart Films Facebook that people can start to follow soon, and then they can follow whatever happens regarding that.
Oh, that's pretty cool. How about you, Randy?
Normal run-of-the-mill week, you know.
That's it? Okay.
That's what happens when you work 2 days a week.
Hey. When I work very hard.
Wow. Is that really it?
Oh,
I was going to say, you got really
No.
quiet. It threw me off. I didn't know where to go with that. Go ahead.
nah, my work days are 12-hour work days. I work on the weekends. And,
Oh, he's getting defensive
you know.
now.
Well, you know, I gotta defend myself here.
Okay, so the 24 hours that you work in a week
No.
are extremely difficult, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll just leave it at that.
Wow. Okay, good enough for you. All right, my week was pretty good. Not too bad so far. I got a day off tomorrow, so I get to sleep in. Hospital. Hey, it's typical hospital stuff. You know what happened to me today, actually?
No.
I was driving into work, and I actually ran into a huge car accident, which was really weird. You know,
Wait, you went into a huge car?
I went through, like, I went past the car accident,
Oh,
but
right, okay.
I was stuck in traffic, like most of you are pretty much always stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
But, well, rubbernecking, yes, if it was on the other side. This was directly where I needed to go, so you couldn't really go, like, around it.
Yeah.
Because it was literally right smack in the middle.
Okay.
I would explain where it is, but half the people that are listening probably want to know where we live, so we'll just move on.
Or you
But-
can just give me your address.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I live at, but it was really crazy, and not to put a damper on the beginning of the show, it was the first time I actually drove by where they actually had a body covered and it was still in the car.
Oh.
I know. I didn't want to just throw that out there, but it really kind of affected me a little bit, and it was like, it's crazy, you know. We have to see stuff like that happen.
Yeah.
And it was 3 cars involved.
Wow.
And then the one thing that stuck in my mind wasn't even that. It was driving, and then they had just taken a baby cart out, and it was like almost like a weird like movie scene.
Yeah.
When they do it, I felt like I was in slow motion. It was literally in the middle of the road, and all I saw was just like a flare in the background and this baby cart, and I'm like, or baby, what do you call those? I don't have kids.
Car seat.
Car seat.
Yeah.
And it was just weird.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
How are we supposed to transition out of that?
Well, no. Let's go from something sad to something sad. Tony Gwynn passed away.
Oh, yeah.
One of the greatest hitters in baseball history. The only one in my lifetime to seriously contend for almost hitting 400 in the season. What did he end up with?
394, I believe.
For his career?
No, 394 for one season.
One season, he came close to hitting that 400 mark as a batting average for the whole season.
He did a 3,000 too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I was alive for that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I meant. Well, you know what I meant. No, I meant in the sense of like
Since then he's passed on.
Some athletes that have done these type of accolades and whatever. You're not alive for, but I remember watching him hit the. He was still heavy. He was heavy
I mean, it was
the Padres.
He
hit the 3,000 too, right?
Well, he was with the Padres. I think
he's one of the only players nowadays, okay, in our modern times, that started with one team. He started in 1982, you know, and he finished his career as a Padre. You know what I mean?
20 years.
Wow.
a
lot of 20 years.
Yeah, you get a lot of comparisons, you know, to him to Derek Jeter, because Derek Jeter did, 20 seasons with the Yankees.
And
I don't know who that is.
doing 20 seasons with doing 20 seasons with the Yankees though, and 20 seasons with the Padres. I mean, yeah, it's a nice location, but he got the two World Series, but you're talking about a lot of years where nothing happened.
I wouldn't have expected you to say 20, to be honest with you.
Well, he didn't put. You're rounding it up. I think he ended up with like 17.
Still,
seasons.
17's a long time.
I was looking at the stats. It said 20 years.
Really?
Yeah. I wouldn't make the shit up.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey.
I got the numbers here.
You know what?
The internet never lies.
Okay. Okay. While you look that up, when we're talking about this whole, what's ironic, when people are like, in the same team, the first thing that came to my mind when you just said that was, I remember having birthday parties, and I was asking for baseball cards, and I used to put the teams in order.
Yeah.
You can't do that now. You can't even...
with all the players moving around and whatever.
If you imagine if it was like that then, what it is now, you have to move the cards.
Dude,
well, you can't. The star players of today's generation, the Bryce Harpers and the Mike Trouts and stuff like that, they're already talking about what team they're going to play for next after their contract is up.
Is that possible, though? I mean, I don't want to lose topic of Tony Gwynn. Did you find the answer?
Well, yeah, it is 20 years, because the internet
years.
never lies. Everything that's on here is factual.
Okay, Wikipedia.
And he had a 338 career batting average. You know how hard that is? Most people can't do that for a season.
All right, let me play devil's advocate. 338?
Yeah.
But that's in a different era. Wouldn't you agree?
I think the pitching was better. You had Greg Maddux,
you also
Tom Glavine.
You're also batting in the steroid era too. So you have pitchers
that are
just as
that's
well.
good. Yeah. That's a good point.
I mean, come on, he's in it, and
I dropped my.
I can give you that the American League pitching may have been a little bit weaker, but the National League pitching at the time was amazing.
I figured I'd ask. I'm not a very big baseball historian, but I figured I'd ask the question.
Consider you're a Mets fan. He was a Padre through the Mets seasons.
He was.
I don't think anybody.
All I remember is '86.
I don't think anybody can deny that he was a phenomenal player. Hall of Fame. That he deserved the Hall of Fame and the whole 9 yards.
I was a Met fan at the time, so.
But my thing is I hear a lot of people arguing. Would he have had those numbers if he was on a different team? If he was, let's say, if he was a New York Yankee, would he have the same kind of stats and notoriety?
Why do you say that? Based off of what? Because of who's batting before him, after him?
Well,
because of the league? What?
That's another thing. He didn't have a lot of names batting around him, and he still batted.
Okay, now there you go. This brings a really good point. See, because I didn't know about that. So nowadays, that's how it's pretty much designed. Am I right? Mm-hmm. You have your cleanup hitter. It's very important to have, your leadoff. Your even your secondary is considered, big because it sets up for the, he's the one that's batting, basically setting up for the cleanup, right?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, he didn't hit a lot of home runs. He wasn't that kind of guy. He
how many
batted
homers
for average.
Ended up with
130.
Yeah.
But how many RBIs?
RBIs 1,138.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, he hit to all fields.
Does it tell you how many walks he had?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It is the internet. Everything is on here.
And it doesn't lie, you said.
No, it always tells the truth.
Just like
790.
Okay, there you go. There you go. He's a great hitter. He had a good eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't, there weren't people batting behind him or in front of him that you wanted to walk him to get to. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they weren't amazing all-stars.
How old was he?
When he passed?
Yeah. Let me look.
That I don't know.
I can be useful. I can take that up.
Oh, he's a young guy.
Wait,
Yeah,
anybody want to take a guess?
Well, let's see.
Don't cheat.
He started playing in 1982, so let's say
Don't
he
cheat.
was
I'm not.
23 or 24 at the time. So,
I say 55.
3.
You freaking cheated.
No, I seriously did not.
Well, you're
I can
wrong
show you
anyway.
right now.
You're wrong
Oh,
anyway.
I was gonna say, wow.
But I'll give you a hint. You're close. You're close.
58.
No, too
56?
Too high.
Too high.
Are we doing prices right? Close enough without
I can
going over?
give you a little background for that. Are we allowed to? Is that copyrighted?
It is.
Okay then. I'll
We can
just
do 14 seconds
Dun
of it.
dun dun.
But I mean, you miss everybody running down in weird ass outfits.
Oh, for the heck of it, he's 54. He was 54.
Oh, so I went.
You were only off by 1.
Yeah.
That's,
So even younger than
he's
we-
young though. That's not for nothing. He was young.
Yeah, and it's not from deteriorating from use of steroids either, because you
Well,
can
he
tell
never
he
looked.
didn't.
Even when he was older, he never looked like he aged.
Exactly, but you can tell he didn't juice.
You know what I liked about him? He was a big guy. I like big guys that don't, that even though they may look out of shape,
Yeah.
they're not out of shape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like CC Sabathia,
you had,
he's like
you
another
had your
one,
fair
Yeah,
share
yeah.
of watching all the teams in the National League because you were a Met, you're a Met fan your whole life.
Why'd you hesitate when you
And-
said Met fan? Did you
You
puke
know,
in your mouth?
because I know
it's
you're,
hard for him to say.
because I know you're struggling a little bit this season.
I'm not struggling at all.
Okay.
We're at 500.
I'm right.
Are you?
Yeah, we're at 500.
When did that
you get to
happen?
500?
We
I don't think you were
hit-
at 500.
Yes, go look it up.
You mean at home, maybe?
No, we're 500. We hit 500.
All right, we don't need to get in the Yankee Mets thing yet.
We're
Like, I
not
can-
in that battle.
No, I can come. at
But
some
my whole point was you actually got to see a lot more National League teams because you're a Met fan.
There it goes again.
You know,
God damn it! Why you gotta say it like that?
what I'm saying is,
Okay, you're my
is
witness.
that you've seen Tony
Championships.
Gwynn play more than we have.
86.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in my what kind of
Please
hitter?
don't make him start listing off years.
What kind
we'll
of
be here
hit-
forever.
No,
Yeah,
it's okay.
27, 28.
No, but
of them?
I mean, I've seen him play.
How many of
I've
those
seen him
documentary
play in a
ones?
few
Okay,
games, and from what I remember from him is what a phenomenal hitter he is.
No, he was.
Like he covered all areas of the plate.
Yeah.
You know, if pitchers had a hard time striking him out, he would foul pitch off. You know, each pitch off, and it would just take pitchers a long time. It felt like it was a 10 or 11 pitch at bat. Every time.
I was
single
just curious
time.
what his average amount of pitches he took. Imagine if they had a statistic for
I'm
that.
sure they have that online. Everything's on the internet. I'm trying to pimp this new
YouTube it.
program. No, but let me clarify about what the statement I said before when I was a Mets fan at 86.
Why did this come back to the Mets?
No, it's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
At
Here we
the
go.
time-
Here we go.
My uncle's dealership has sponsored the Mets for decades.
Set up.
Yes. What? So, my dad took us to a Mets game. This is my first baseball game.
Year?
At Shea Stadium.
Oh,
Right?
that brought
David
tears.
Cohn's rookie season.
But why you have to bring up a former Met that's
Hold
now
on!
a freaking Yankee?
We get down on the field, right? I'm having catch with David Cohn. I'm
That
hitting
doesn't-
off Mookie Wilson's tee,
Okay, now we're
right?
feeling better.
Hearing him yell at this big kid because he kept hitting the tee and not the ball. He's like, "Man, why you hit my tee? Hit the ball!" Right? I got to meet Kevin Elster the next year, Bud Harrelson, all these guys. I was a Mets fan.
What changed?
Then all my Mets went to the Yankees. Doc Gooden, Darryl Strawberry, David Cohn, all became Yankees. I
Interesting.
followed my
Yes.
players. I didn't just.
You're
join
writing the
teams.
book for me. Go ahead.
You know
Keep
why?
going.
I followed my
Keep going.
players.
Yeah,
Because they went to a winning team.
No, that's not what happened.
No, they went to
a.
a team that knew how to handle the cocaine addiction.
I'll give you
and
that.
get
I'll
them
give you
off
that.
it.
But no, they went to a team that is known historically for stealing other players
Oh wow!
and winning championships with
Oh, God.
other veteran players from other historical teams.
We may
Isn't that
rant.
right? Wade Boggs.
We may rant.
Isn't that right?
No, okay.
Darryl Strawberry.
All right, look at how Wade Boggs
David
left
Cohn.
Boston, though. First of all, they shit on their best player.
Doesn't matter.
One of their best players
Doesn't
of all
matter.
time.
He's still a Red Sox.
We may rant.
He was still a Red Sox.
Yeah, but did you see how they basically were like, we want nothing to do. Him and Clemens both. They were like, we want nothing to do.
Don't even have to get started on Clemens. We don't have to get started. Was he a Red Sox?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Right.
You're being sarcastic.
He was also
The
Blue
only
Jay.
person I cannot
also an
crap
Astro.
on are the core, the four core of the, what are they called again? The Yankees.
Yes.
So you got
Nice.
you got Skeeter. You have
Oh, God.
what's his name?
I'm not contributing to this.
The catcher.
Are you playing like you don't know his name? Because you want me
I'm
to
being
say
serious.
Jorge Posada?
Posada. I really forgot for a second. Jorge Rivera
Yeah.
and Pettit.
Yeah.
Okay, Pettit did steroids. Good job.
HGH.
Yes, he knew
not
about
steroids.
it. He knew about it. Rivera is probably out of the four. I'll give Rivera his dues. I've never seen a more scarier pitcher, more amazing closer. I was very happy. I shed a tear when he retired.
What makes you hate Jeter so much?
Who is he?
Honestly.
Who is he?
Honestly.
I don't hate him.
I'm asking. I was
I
going
don't
to
hate
say.
him.
So
I
how
don't
can
hate
you how can you give
You know why?
respect to?
He doesn't hate him now because he's retired.
No, but how can you
No, I
give
don't
so
hate
much
Jeter.
respect to Rivera but not the same amount of respect to Jeter? Because he never did any.
I just think that it's not that. See, I cannot listen. I'm a baseball fan. You can never say Jeter was a bad player. Come on,
Exactly.
You'd be an idiot.
Not even that.
I'm not
just,
dumb, but I just don't. Something about him I didn't like.
It was something that he was a player that baseball could absolutely put the brand on.
I disagree.
Because he never did anything off the field that was
that we know of.
the worst.
Fine. Then he was the best at hiding it.
Possibly, but there's other players.
Everybody, what he did, the worst thing he did was he slept with a lot of women.
Well, who cares? He's a guy.
But I'm saying, like,
Well, he's a guy.
I get it,
never-
no, but that, I mean, that's
If you weren't a second baseman for the Yankees, you wouldn't sleep
If
around.
that's the worst thing, that's what I'm saying.
Wait,
No,
was there ever a scandal with him that got out? There was one time where it
In
got
band
out
camp.
that he got out that he went out to a nightclub, and Steinbrenner said something like
I don't know about it.
he's not he didn't want him out that late or whatever, and it literally was squashed the next day. That was the only thing.
I don't know. I
That
don't
was the
follow
only
Jeter.
blip in the radar.
I don't follow him,
Well,
so I don't know. I didn't even know
did,
about it.
So
You brought that up. You say, how come I hate him? I
No,
don't hate
because
him.
you said out of the court
I don't
four,
hate
the only
him.
one you
I don't
really
hate him.
could
I don't have
respect
anything
was
nice to say
Rivera.
about him. I have nothing bad to say about him. I just don't like him.
Derek, I'm sorry. I apologize. I know you're listening. Thank you for the 5 stars and the positive comment on iTunes. I can't help this man.
He's going to be an owner of the Marlins soon anyway.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
going to do real good. Come on.
It's going to be like Michael Jordan owning that
Wizards?
Charlotte team.
Is it the Wizards or he was Charlotte? He owns them?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
It's when you're so competitive and all you do is know how to win and all you want to do is win. When you take over bottom of the barrel teams, which the Marlins had their years, but let's face it, other than 3 good players maybe now they don't really
Isn't
have.
Derek Jeter expecting a baby?
Yeah.
Oh Lord. We're gonna have to populate. He's repopulating the earth.
That's the other thing. He
with
waited
his
to
sperm.
start a family till he was done with baseball. That was the plan all along.
That's because he had to take pills. He couldn't get it up. That's what I heard.
Oh my God.
That's what I heard.
How you just gonna go? Wow.
I heard things.
you
I
are
heard
awful.
things. Where'd you hear that?
The internet.
Well,
'Cause everything
is true. Everything on
is
the internet,
real.
it's true. Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
So you're gonna put that on his Wikipedia page?
No. Why? Anybody can add?
That's what I hear. Yeah, you can add. You can add.
My
any
dog is
page.
officially on crack. He's just running around. Holy crap.
But R.I.P. Tony Gwynn, one of the best hitters of all time. One of
it's
one of the
definitely.
best hitters of our lifetime. Absolutely. And a quick story. I went to a doubleheader when I was in Houston with my Uncle John, and we saw the Padres play, so I got to see Tony Gwynn
that's
play.
cool.
That was awesome.
That's cool.
And it was a doubleheader. First game went 13 innings.
Wow.
The score was 1-0.
Wow.
It was so boring.
Why?
I got to see Tony Gwynn play.
How old were you?
I was young.
That's why I was.
But no, what made it worse was the Astrodome was an awful venue.
Really?
Well,
It's a dome. What do you look at?
Yeah, it was so hot and
AstroTurf, right?
The whole atmosphere was just gray. You know what I mean? And then the second game went 11 innings, and the final score was 3-2. So it was much more exciting than the first one. But that's a lot of fucking baseball, especially when I'm not a Houston Astros fan.
Did they ever have a scheduled doubleheader, and the first game just went way too long?
I'm sure
that they couldn't play the second game.
The longest game in history is from Boston. It's from the AAA.
Boston Yankees, isn't it?
No, it's a AAA team. They went 20-something innings. I know because I went to it was a Paul Sox game, and it's in the record books, and they have an anniversary every year. And the Cups, this I learned when I lived in Rhode Island. The actual Cups. You guys don't know this, but I'm actually holding up my hands.
This
like
is
you
great radio.
Yeah. So but the cup would actually have the scoreboard, and because the scoreboard was so big, they actually like overlap.
Oh, that's cool.
And then when you flip the cup around, I used to keep it, but I lost it. And on the bottom would show the final score. But they won. It was like something but it didn't happen in one night. It was too long. They had to stop it and try to play the next day, and then it went on for almost a full game. So they canceled the actual game because it was supposed to be a doubleheader.
Oh.
So I went like 28 innings or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll look that up because that's funny you brought that up.
I wonder if you were allowed to come back for the rest of that game the next day.
Longest. Let me look
It was
it up.
minors, right? So probably.
I would think.
Even if it wasn't, how much are the tickets? Like 10?
Oh, here it is. Paul Sox, Red Sox, Boston AAA affiliate actually hold the record for the longest game in baseball history. 1981, the Paul Sox defeated the Rochester Red Wings 3-2 in a game that lasted an amazing 33 innings.
Wow. Oof. That
33 I told you, man. I wouldn't make that up.
Definitely unmanageable.
Yeah. And you know how I know that? Is because when I was living there, Big Papi was injured and he was coming back. And he was making his run on the Paul Sox, so we got tickets to see him play there, and it was the night of the anniversary of that.
I'm surprised they played it out being a minor league game.
I mean, I'll have to look into it. When you guys,
You know what I mean? Like, you would think that they'd be like, okay, I think 13 innings is enough. We can call it quits. It's not like these games. I mean, I understand they have playoffs.
listen,
Playoffs?
most at bats
fucking
by
time I
one
hear that
team.
Playoffs?
Most
Every
at bats by one team.
Fuck
Pawtuckets
Pyramid
had Pawtuckets had 114. Most strikeouts by one team was 34 batters. Got
Holy
in that
crap.
game. Most at bats by both teams 219.
Jesus.
Most total strikeouts in the one game. In the one game combined, because I just gave you the Rochester batters, that was 34 strikeouts. The combined was 60 strikeouts.
Oh my god, that game had to be awful to watch.
Yep. And then most strikeouts, most at bats by one player in one game was 14. So
One player played the whole game.
And
14.
he struck out 14 times?
No,
What
it
did you
just,
say?
it just says most at bats by
Oh.
one player in one game.
I was going to
This
say.
is all the statistics of that game.
He is not going to the major leagues.
The golden sombrero, the hat trick, the golden sombrero. What's after the golden
Wait,
sombrero?
and this is I didn't even know this. In addition, the Rochester's Cal Ripken Jr.
Oh, wow.
Yes, the Cal Ripken Jr. took a serious hit to his batting average, recording only 2 hits in 13 at bats. He was batting 154 after that.
Oh,
I'm just saying though, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know he was in that game.
he's only a Hall of Famer.
That's pretty cool though. That's cool. I'm sure that's something they don't even really talk about.
That's crazy.
All right, cool.
Here's an idea. Would Cal Ripken be as famous a baseball player, stats-wise, if he didn't have the streak?
No.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was a likable person. I think he was a consistent player. But maybe more of a. I don't think he would be as hyped up as he is.
He's on a small market team. I mean, he played.
He would have been the franchise of
right now,
But
but
Murray was the big
right
guy
now,
then too.
Yeah.
he's like synonymous with being the Iron Man though. I mean, everybody's like.
I got to see him play his 2,110th game.
Were his stats that good without the Iron Man thing, though? That's my thing.
to be remembered. I mean, if you're a Baltimore fan, yes, but a baseball fan in general, I'd say no.
I mean, he was an all-star.
He's saying that because it's an Oriole.
No. He was an
No.
all-star consecutively, obviously. You know what I mean? So you have that.
I don't know. That's tough.
I don't know
That's,
if his-
that's
I don't know
a
if
great
his-
question.
I don't
It
think
really
his
is.
stats would have gotten him into the Hall.
It's a great question because when you say Cal Ripken, you talk about the streak.
Right.
It's not like we talk about
He's
anything
synonymous
else.
with it. So just like DiMaggio. I know DiMaggio.
Here we go
you know,
again with the Yankees.
Let's go to the internet.
Oh, we have to
again.
go back to the Yankees, bro.
Because
This
what
is a
that?
non-Yankee
Because
podcast.
Because what is
No, it's definitely
what
not
is
that.
DiMaggio synonymous with?
A horrible last
Marilyn
name.
Monroe.
A horrible last name.
Marilyn Monroe.
DiMaggio. It's just ugly.
Oh man, you just exiled all Italian listeners.
Yeah.
it doesn't flow. Maggio. Imagining what?
No, not
It doesn't
DiMaggio.
flow out of your mouth because you stutter on half the shit you try to say.
DiMaggio. I imagino.
Obviously, his name is synonymous with the hitting streak. So
What was his hitting streak? I don't know.
56 straight games.
And nobody's beaten that?
No.
Let's go! Somebody beat it so we can talk about somebody else.
Has anyone even come close?
Wait, what about Roger Maris?
44, I believe, is the next.
Maris, what did he have? That's the one that McGuire beat, right?
He had
Roger Maris?
60. He had 61 in a season.
Right. And then
Who, to me, honestly, is still the record holder.
why?
I don't count the steroid.
You want to
Oh,
count
for
the
the love,
steroids?
we all cheered the dude to do it.
Who?
I did.
It was exciting.
McGuire?
It saved baseball. I'll give you that. It
Okay,
saved
you didn't
baseball
cheer
that
him hitting
season.
home runs? You swear you weren't there that night. You're going, yes, that's awesome.
I don't know if it would have been.
We did a
wait.
we did the news thing, and we were all talking about it.
Okay, but I don't know if it would have been as big if it wasn't him battling Sosa like it was. You had two guys going. If it was just one,
I disagree.
I don't know.
Well, okay, I know what you're going with this. Yes, it
Especially on
wouldn't have
a
been
game.
It wouldn't have been as big as a hype with two. I agree,
Especially
but it still would
being
have been
Cardinals
news.
and Cubs and they play each other so frequently. Like
I agree.
They were
but
boom, 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 boom.
It still would have been news if one guy was.
yeah, but
was
I don't
going
think it would have
after
been
the
as
record.
exciting.
Okay, but let's go back. Hold on. You're
Well,
telling me
all right.
none of you guys cheered him on?
Oh, absolutely. I've been a
So how do you
McGuire
guys say
fan.
that he hit the? All right, Barry Bonds.
I was a
Because
Bash Brothers fan from way back with Canseco and McGuire on
Because
all
you're
of them.
reflecting on it now. You know for a fact that these guys were juiced up.
Okay,
and
Barry
cheating.
Bonds.
Cheater.
I hate him.
He has
And
not-
I've always hated
Cheater.
him.
Hold up. There's no proof.
Cheater.
There's proof. The fact that he
Okay.
went from my size to Hulk Hogan size
I
within
agree
an
with
off
that,
season.
but there's still no
Wait.
proof.
I'm sorry. Go Google
Online?
a picture of him now.
I know.
Okay.
I know, but you still got to admit there's no proof.
As a
See?
wrestling fan, you know what it looks like when these guys age on steroids.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. There's
Okay.
no proof.
All right, real quick. Let
It's
me
like,
just,
okay, ready? This is going to really put us, there we go, we rant, right? Okay, here we go. O.J. Simpson.
excellent murderer.
You really think he did it?
Absolutely.
Okay, before you answer that, though, hold on.
Dude, I
Let me get it.
actually watched the trial
You know
every day.
for a fact, hold up, you know for a fact that he actually was the killer. You know
Dude.
for a fact. You were there.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna.
You can't.
I wasn't gonna get on this stand.
No, I'm being serious.
No.
Come on. Dude, this is how I am. I'm not trying
Okay.
to be a jerk.
But, you
I
can't-
just have
you
a hard
can't-
time
you
believing.
can't do it like that.
But you
because
have to.
You weren't a witness to it.
But neither was anybody else.
I understand that, but he has to be.
Are we still talking about
he
OJ?
has to be held. yeah, he
But this
has
is a
to be
great-
held
it's a-
accountable.
But why?
Because-
What if? Okay, but if I said to you, you killed your wife.
It's circumstantial evidence.
But if
is
you
what-
if you never killed your wife,
Is she gonna listen to this? Because that could totally happen.
okay. All right, let's just hear me out for a second. I understand. I'm just. This is the way what goes into my mind. I know for a fact I didn't kill somebody, right? I know. Let's just pretend we're all
Right.
have superpowers. You know for a fact that Angel did not kill somebody, but somebody comes and says circumstantial evidence proves that you did it. Why is it okay for everybody just to assume that he did it? Do I think he did it? I think he had a hand in it. I think that there's a lot of. I think there's something fishy. Why would he try to commit suicide? I agree with all that. I'm not defending him. I just have a hard time. I can't understand how we can all assume that he 100% did it if nobody was there to see him do it.
You know why I think he did it, and why I'm fairly confident he did it, and I don't even blame it on him necessarily as a person. Look at how people react now from concussions. They go literally crazy. This is back in the day when the padding was. I mean, I understand the hits weren't as hard, but there was far less padding and far less protection on these guys' heads back then.
Okay.
I don't think he was in the right frame of mind. I mean, look at what he ended up getting arrested for. He's clearly not right. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
if you committed to a crime that maybe, let's say, he didn't do, and everybody hates you in the world, wouldn't you go crazy then too?
No, I'm saying he was that way.
Aaron Hernandez.
Oh, don't even.
There was.
He was compare the two.
You kind of have to. In
There
a
were
way.
witnesses to him.
Okay, but he was acquitted.
of the second one.
Right,
but he definitely did the first one.
I agree. But why was he accused of the other one?
Because he probably did that one also. The dude was a gangster.
But you can't say that.
I just said it.
I
said probably. I said it's not factual.
The only reason why
I need 100%.
The only reason why they dropped.
So you need to be in the room
case.
when somebody kills somebody
Yes.
in order.
I do, unless or
you need to travel more.
Or
then
you need to give me enough evidence to say this guy did it, because I have to look at myself in the mirror.
The only reason why they dropped the case, it's an old Massachusetts law that the judge put through that if for some reason while the
This is
person
Hernandez, by the way, so you know who we're talking about.
Thank you. Is in prison and he dies in prison. Okay.
No, that's not what he's saying.
What?
He's not talking about the original murder that was now dropped because he's dead. And he's talking about the one he was actually acquitted for.
He was actually acquitted of something.
The second trial that he
and then he was appealing the one that he
during the appeal he died.
Right.
he died. And you don't think you actually think he hung himself?
Absolutely.
No way.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
And
Absolutely.
Yes, he
I
did.
disagree.
And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why. Because he did it in the best interest of his family.
I disagree.
He did.
I disagree because if you know his background, he was a very spiritual person, and a spiritual person does not commit suicide.
Yeah, but you don't think he felt like God let him get forsook him? You don't think he thought God
based
just
off
let
of
him
what
go?
he wrote before he died doesn't match
And
up.
how can you be very spiritual and then kill someone? Thou shalt not kill.
I totally agree with that, but we're not on that topic. I'm just saying the fact that why he killed
But
himself.
I'm saying if he's willing to kill somebody, then he's willing to break another rule.
I don't know.
And if it benefits his family,
I don't know if he
Look
was spiritual before he got spiritual in jail. I don't know.
But look what happens now that he killed himself. Okay, the charges were dropped. Okay.
Well, they have to. He's dead.
Right.
but
the charges were dropped.
That's not necessarily done for everyone.
But now, the family of what is it? It's Lloyd, right? What is it's Otis?
I don't know.
Odin Lloyd.
Oh, the one he killed, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now his family. This was honestly this is something that that can be debated about between us, is that his fortune, whatever he made as a New England Patriot, right, is now in limbo because Odin Lloyd's family definitely deserves compensation from the murder. But my thing is that the debate lies now. Aaron Hernandez has a 4-year-old daughter. Is the 4-year-old daughter entitled to any of his money?
If he has any, I don't know.
Well, that's it right there.
I don't know if he has any money. I don't think he lost his contract. I mean, he gets a certain amount of money, but he didn't have much money left when he.
Let's say he lost
his contract.
Let's say he had $25 million left. Okay. In I don't know.
What
I don't know
happens
the
when you go to
situation.
jail? Well, let's put it this way. He went to jail. All right, let's say he went to jail and he had $25 million in the bank.
Right.
Whose money is it? If it was a joint account, it's his girlfriend's. They weren't engaged.
No.
So if it's a joint account, then it's hers.
Right.
If it's a joint account. Yeah,
If it's a joint account.
That's the only
I
legal.
would think he. I mean, I don't
That's
know.
the only legal right she has to it, unless she was already sued. Like, because she would, if they were together.
So let's just say, for better argument's sake, it's a joint account. It's hers. Now go ahead.
But I've had people tell me that Aaron Hernandez's daughter deserves whatever money is left.
This is one of those things where it's like, people only care about the money when somebody's dead.
But I'm sitting there. I'm arguing with people. I'm like, what about the guy that he killed? I'm like, the guy that he was in prison for.
Why do they get money?
Because now he can't make money for his family ever.
They can't make money off anyway. He went to jail.
No,
not Hernandez.
The dead man can't make money to
I
support
understand
his
that,
family.
but why? Listen, I'm not trying to be. It's not sound like I'm being mean. The guy was murdered. It sucks. But what are you gonna do? Like
you're gonna sue for that money.
You're gonna go after somebody that.
Because does Aaron Hernandez? If Aaron Hernandez didn't hang himself, which he did, would he deserve that money? No, he killed someone.
He doesn't get anyway. He's in life. He's there for life.
But my point is that.
So who's okay? So that it's like a catch-22. Let's say you give half of it to Lloyd's family, you're also taking half of that away from his daughter. That maybe she was deserving of it.
Well, you don't think half of whatever the hell he had left was enough to at least get her through college?
I don't want to say yes. I don't want to say no because I don't really know the situation.
Yeah.
It's tough. Like, I don't believe. I mean, I say this because I've never had anybody murdered, thank God. But I don't get the whole aspect of people that somebody died. Oh my God, I need millions of dollars to feel better.
I don't think it's that at all.
But then why do they go after the millions of dollars?
It's because they want the person to pay, like literally pay and figuratively pay. They want them to feel it.
I would rather have somebody go to jail for life. I don't want their money. That's me.
It's not even. I mean, granted, there are situations like that where people do feel like you take advantage of the situation, but my thing is the guy Odin Lloyd, he's gone. He's no longer with. He's got.
Now, what kind
kids.
of background did he have?
He's got two children.
But was he a drug dealer or was he a gangster?
He's got a wife.
I honestly don't know.
I don't know, but the point is that even if he was or he wasn't, okay, it's that he'll never be around to give his kids the opportunity to progress further in life.
And Aaron Hernandez will never be around to give that to his daughter.
That's his
But that's
own
his
fault,
choice.
though.
That's his choice.
The other guy didn't have the choice.
And that was my point.
Okay.
I said so, but because that
So
was
then the
his
little girl
choice.
suffers because of her dad's mistake?
And I said,
Unfortunately, the sins
you
of the
know what?
father.
I'm just
The
speaking
sins
up.
of the father.
But you're absolutely right.
Saying,
That is the debate.
She's going to suffer no matter what.
She's 4 years old. She's the innocent in all of this.
She's going to suffer no matter
right?
what because she's going to grow up knowing that her father was a murderer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
My thing was, let the Lloyd family reach a settlement with them. Okay.
They probably will.
Whatever is left over, keep in a trust fund for her. At least it pays for her education going forward.
If I was the judge, I would do that. I'd do
Yeah, if the mother
if
wants
it was
the money,
25
then it's a
million,
different thing.
I'd split it right in half.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't disagree
But
with that.
I would order it to be put into a trust for the daughter that couldn't be touched until such and such. Like I wouldn't want
Well, of course. Yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
want the mother having it in her hand.
Of course.
I mean,
Of course.
maybe give her like
She'll use it all up.
maybe give her like a stipend. Like we don't know the mother; she may be a decent person, but maybe give her a stipend just as like child support would be, huh? What? What's it called?
a stipend.
That's what I said, isn't it?
I heard stipend.
I said stipend.
Okay.
Why, you didn't say that?
Go to the tape.
No, forget it. It's
No, I'm
over.
just playing.
Anyway,
We'll let you know next time.
okay. Just all right.
I didn't hear it.
Just to
right?
go back and apologize to Cal Ripken, I want to change topics real quick. I
Damn,
looked up
we
his
really
stats.
just switched
Wow,
gears
there
on
you
that.
go.
Huh?
Well, I mean, we should give people the information that we brought up in argument and then never actually went into any facts.
What was the talk about?
The talk was whether he would have gotten into the Hall of Fame or would have been the player of the renown that he was.
Go ahead, you finish. But I think
All right,
it's,
here are the
opinion.
stats. I don't think it's opinion based on his stats.
That's like Piazza.
No. Listen, he had 3,184 hits. Right? Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. You can do that.
Okay,
Just
so
my
there's a
quick-
mile.
Home
It's a
runs.
milestone.
Home runs. He didn't hit the 500, but still, as a shortstop / third baseman, he hit 431 home runs. That's unheard of at that position. Really.
Okay, so then.
And then he had
was a Hall of Famer.
1,695 RBI. So yeah, so I apologize because I'm not an Orioles fan. I didn't follow his career.
That's a shame.
You know what I mean?
I was an Orioles fan. I really was.
No, that's fine. I
I
knew who was
I
on the
love
team.
Brady Anderson. He was
I
one
knew
of my
Brady.
favorites.
Like I knew who was on the team, but I didn't
Steroids.
follow.
Yep. Don't forget. If I'm not
50?
mistaken, the Yankees stole Wells
Oh
from
God,
them. Erickson.
Wells
also
was
a
on the
stolen.
White Sox for
We didn't-
before that.
Erickson was. What are you talking about? Stole Erickson.
Yeah, he was on the Orioles the year
Right?
before.
No, are you thinking Mussina?
Mussina? I'm sorry, Mussina. Mussina was on the Orioles the year that they beat the Orioles, and the next year that he went over. So
Didn't
it's
the Mets
funny
steal,
how isn't it funny?
Alomar and Mo Vaughn?
drag
Didn't
me
they
into this.
Didn't they try? Didn't they try to buy a World Series too? Like I remember that.
They're just bad at it.
Yeah.
I don't remember buying a World Series.
Piazza.
That was not the Mets' fault. That was the Dodgers' fault.
So wait, so you're saying?
No, but it really was. The
So
Dodgers.
That's not the Yankees' fault. That's the Orioles' fault for not signing Mussina back.
So you're
No.
saying '96 the Yankees bought a World Series?
A '96?
Yeah.
I think they got lucky. They got lucky. They got lucky. But that, you know what? That's baseball, though. You got to admit, baseball is luck. Baseball
Okay.
is luck.
What about '98 when they won 126 games?
98.
125.
Who did was that the year against the San Diego?
Yes. That's.
You know what? I
Tony
will
Gwynn-
I
Tony
will
Gwynn's
I will
last,
say that's the year that they earned it to me.
All right.
I will say that. They were an awesome team. You heard it from my mouth.
Wow.
But in '96,
and it's on audio.
total luck.
This better not all
because the Orioles was a better team. Was a way better team. The Braves were a better team.
I'll give you that.
And they got lucky.
The Braves just had bad luck because they were a better team than anyone in the '90s for the most part.
Well, they're the Bills of baseball.
Yeah. That pitching.
And that's a shame because that man Maddox, that whole lineup, that whole pitching. Oh my God.
Smoltz, Glavine, unbelievable.
You'll never have a lineup like that.
No, never.
I don't even care.
You can't afford it now.
You can no.
Well, the Orioles. I mean, not the Orioles. The A's came pretty close in 2001 with Mulder, Zito, and Hudson.
That was before?
Yeah, that all came. They all came out of their farm.
Was that before or after the Yankees stole Giambi?
Oh God.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just asking. Did he not go? But how is it? Let me explain something to you. Why is it that every time the Yankees either lose or defeat a team in the playoffs, that player ends up going to the Yankees?
Because that player sees how amazing it is to be on the Yankees.
That's too coincidental.
No, you know what it is? In all honesty,
I'm being honest though. Come on, be honest.
No. This is what I honestly think it is. When the Athletics when Jason Giambi saw what it's like, playoff atmosphere in New York City, there is nothing like it. And you're playing in the house that Ruth built.
No, you're not.
With at the time, with 70,000 people.
That was a beautiful sight to see that destroyed, by the way. But go ahead.
Anyway.
Sometimes I want to choke them.
Because you know what? I mean, a lot of cities have great fans. Philadelphia has diehard fans. They're a little bit jerkish. Let's be honest.
Every city's got jerks.
No, but
the Met fans are jerks. The Yankee fans are jerks. Philly fans are jerks.
They're only jerks to each other.
But they're jerks. Everybody thinks their team is good.
But anyway, so St. Louis, Seattle, these teams have amazing fans. Everybody knows it. Just Pittsburgh when the Steelers with the towels. Everybody sees these fans.
I think the Utah is probably the most
Utah
loyal.
Has loyal fans.
That's some loyal fans. I gotta give that.
But when you're in New York City, regardless if it's Mets or Yankees, and you're getting that playoff atmosphere, there's literally nothing better. And that's why everybody comes to New York. Now the Knicks used to have that.
Who are they?
Exactly. I feel that same way. Dude, I used to weep when the Knicks lost.
I mean, well, of course, we all did.
Ever since they got Carmelo, I do not give a shit. But Madison Square Garden...
Hold on. Let's stop there. You're saying that the day they got Carmelo, you weren't happy at all?
Yep.
You've never been happy since Carmelo?
I absolutely hated that trade, did I not? I've hated the Knicks ever since they even started discussing getting Carmelo.
Why?
Because you gave away half the team to a player that was going to come to New York at the end of the season regardless. He was coming to New York, but he forced the trade because he's a douchebag and just couldn't deal with another month or two in Denver. His wife wanted him to come to New York, and the fact that it's a proven fact because her businesses are here, and now that he's going to be thrown out of New York, they're separated because she's not leaving New York. That's how bad she wanted to be in New York. He was coming here regardless, but instead of just waiting it out and coming here, because it's a difference of like $14 million he lost. He would have lost by waiting till the end of the year. Being forced into the trade, the Knicks had more money to sign him at the end of the season because he was a Knicks player.
We may rant.
But if he'd come if he had waited it out, we would have still had Wilson Chandler, Danilo. I can't say his name. Gallinari.
It was a good squad too.
Yeah, the squad was amazing. And then you would have teamed them.
I remember saying, "Why did they get rid of everybody?"
You would have had all those guys with Amari Stoudemire, who was
half of
the
them
hottest.
have gone on to be good teams.
You're not even taking into consideration the draft picks they traded also.
Not only
they
that,
traded draft picks.
Look at Timothy
along with the players.
Look at Timothy Mozgov that they gave up. One game he had 29 rebounds.
Let me ask you something.
All for Carmelo, who was coming anyway.
What makes the Knicks bad today?
The owner, James Dolan, ever since the Pat Riley era, has been awful. He drove Jeff Van Gundy away, who was an amazing coach.
He was my favorite coach.
Isaiah Thomas he brought in, and just because he's a name, he let him run the Knicks into the ground with horrible contracts.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because they kept going after whoever had the biggest name in the playoffs the year before, and then these people would never even do anything. Eddie Curry, Jerome James, awful, long extended contracts, $20 million a year. Awful. James Dolan.
We're still paying for that?
Probably. Well, no, we're still paying out in Houston, which is why he's still involved with the Knicks.
Holy, really?
Oh yeah, we're still paying him. That's why that's why he's involved. He runs their minor league or
The
whatever.
Mets are still paying Bobby Bonilla.
All right, let's
Yes.
not get back.
Yeah, but that contract ends this year.
Go ahead.
But
He was better in the Orioles, though. Unfortunately, Bonilla.
I'll give you that. I lost my train of thought because you had to bring up that shit.
You're talking about $20 million contracts.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so Jim
Anyway,
Dolan.
it's the ground.
The reason the Rangers are so good is because Dolan doesn't care. He leaves them alone. But he's constantly got his hands dipped in the Knicks.
Why, you
And he
think?
doesn't know what to do because that's the more marquee team. Not that, I mean, let's
What about
face
Phil
it.
Jackson?
A lot of people. Oh God, get rid of Phil Jackson.
Why?
Why did you extend his contract? The reason you brought Phil Jackson is because you thought his name was going to bring in players.
Question.
Go ahead.
Why isn't Phil Jackson the coach?
Because he's 70-something years old and doesn't want to do it.
He doesn't want to-
But that's the other thing.
He has
doesn't-
nothing to prove.
He doesn't know how to be just GM. First of all, okay, you want to rant? Phil Jackson is one of the most overrated coaches in any sports ever.
Why?
You can't win with Michael Jordan, and you can't win with Kobe Bryant.
Whoa.
Shaquille
Come on.
O'Neal?
Come on.
What?
Triangle, baby.
Oh, yeah, look at how good the triangle's lasting now
Doesn't
without a
work in
Hall
here.
of Famer shooting guard.
No.
You need a Hall of Famer shooting guard for the triangle
You
to
need
work.
somebody to believe in the triangle for it to work. And they don't believe in it.
They don't believe in it because you need someone to be at the shooting guard position.
All right, let's go to the Bulls. You're telling me that Michael Jordan wasn't the only star on that team?
Scottie Pippen was an amazing utility player.
Okay.
Horace Grant, since he just focused on rebounds, was great. Dennis Rodman, because he just focused
Forget
on
about
rebounds,
Robin.
was great.
Because Robin.
Okay, Rodman's a freak, but he's one of the best rebounders
He was a good
/
rebounder.
defenders ever. To
So
play
you're
the
telling me,
game.
how about, let's say, Bulls 1991?
Okay.
That squad. You don't think Phil Jackson had something to do with that?
What, Tony
wait a minute.
Kukoc? First of all,
Hold on.
you had Europe's best player in Tony Kukoc. You had Scottie
Kukoc wasn't
Pippen,
that great.
but he was the best in Europe. I'm not saying Europe's great, but he was the best in Europe.
Okay, all right, I
which
can
makes
do that.
him far above average in the U.S. at least. And then you had Scottie Pippen, who was a whole.
Pippen is very underrated.
No, he's one of my favorite. I hate the Bulls because I'm a Knicks fan, but Scottie Pippen's one of my favorite all-time players because he played every end of the floor.
Except for that one year when he sat the bench. And Kukoc got the winning shot on the Knicks.
Yeah,
Because Pippen was mad.
Help me understand. The triangle offense involves a shooting guard, point guard,
It doesn't really involve a point guard. That's
No.
why the Bulls never
Small
had
forward?
a good point guard.
small forward.
Well, kind of. I mean, you want a slashing small forward because the triangle is supposed to move the ball and allow either your slashing small forward to get to the rim, which is what Scottie Pippen did a lot. Yeah,
So-
I mean, and
so-
Carmelo can do.
So typically, what's your triangle? Is it's your shooting guard, your small forward, and what else?
Your center.
Your center.
You want it, and the thing is, the Bulls never even had a good center. They had adequate centers,
Yeah,
but their
correct.
whole point was just to get the ball into the center to get the ball back out. It was just the triangle is all about movement.
Well, we can also say, too, in all defense, the era then is a lot different than the era now.
Yeah, it was so much better then.
So
much better then.
Of course. Listen, people don't believe me. Let's go back real quick. The NBA on NBC,
Oh yeah, I used to get chills.
that noise, that music,
Yeah.
that, you just cannot. You can't replicate.
I don't
replicate
care
that.
about basketball
You
anymore.
can't.
And
Every Sunday was a triple header.
you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? And Christmas, the Christmas game.
Even as a wrestling fan, I
Yeah.
wanted to watch basketball when wrestling was on, and that says a lot because
Yeah.
I was a geek.
You know what?
into wrestling.
You know what? What's killing? I mean, I understand the NBA is more popular now, but it's because
What? You think really it is?
well, no, the money. If the money would say it is, the money that they're getting
Really? I'm
paid.
shocked.
Dude, they're getting.
I watched the All-Star Game weekend. I was bored.
No.
Who is on this
Well,
field
no,
singing?
it's not. It's not popular because of the players. It's popular because of the marketing. Because now
okay.
the television sees them and they give them 9.14. They give them
Go ahead.
astronomical amounts of money a season now, and that's why everybody's contracts are going up.
All right, keep going.
So
Go ahead.
I was
anyway,
picking my nose. Go
so
ahead.
they're more popular now because they sell players, whereas before it was the league. The entire league was great.
Well, when did you say that? I don't know. Let me rephrase the question. Let me rephrase my point. When I say that I have a hard time believing that the NBA is popular today, To me, popular is everybody in our era. And we'll talk dates here. I'll date myself from the 90s, especially the 90s.
Yeah.
All right, let's just say the 90s.
Yeah.
The whole decade. If
85 to 2000.
Okay, even better. Everybody knew when the game was on.
Yeah.
Even teams that didn't, like, not even the Knicks.
Yeah.
Like, when the Knicks and Bulls were up and then all of a sudden that game was over, we stayed up to watch the next game.
Yeah.
Every single matchup was worth watching. That's popularity. Today, I mean, I'm rooting for the Celtics. I like to see Celtics win. And some of the games have been really good, but it's only playoffs.
Yeah.
It's only the playoffs to me.
This is what I was getting. Let me get back to my point. What's killing the NBA now is that back in the day, every team had 2 or 3 good players. They had 2 All-Stars maybe and a third good player, and those guys played there pretty much their entire career.
Okay.
Now, you have 8 teams out of 30 with 3 All-Stars on each team, and the rest of the teams have somewhat notable players, but as soon as those notable players have their contract up, they're not there anymore. So, and you're not getting people to come to Milwaukee to play. You're not getting people to come to Minnesota to play. And all these guys, all they care about now is getting the titles. So they go to these teams that are already stacked.
Who do you blame on that?
I blame LeBron.
Oh, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about overrated.
Can
we talk about overrated?
He started the ball rolling. Yeah. He started the ball rolling with that.
Listen, you go on ESPN and to make an announcement? Are you out of your mind?
No. Here's the only quote you need to know that LeBron James is overrated. We need a playmaker this season. We don't have a playmaker. You're supposed to be the best fucking player in the NBA. What are you talking about? You need a playmaker. You have Kyrie Irving. You have Kevin Love. You have how many good players on your team, and you can't win because you need a playmaker? Are you kidding me, you whiny little bitch? Seriously.
We may rant.
And I'll say that to his face. I don't care how tall he is. I think he's so overrated, and I loved it when Michael Jordan finally came out and said, I know it's on everybody's mind. Yes. 1-on-1, I would kill LeBron. I was like, finally, because everyone knows it.
Yeah, but you know what is? It's funny. The people only watch tapes of Jordan, and they can't
don't know what it's like
or comprehend the type of basketball that we grew up with.
They don't know what it's like to watch him dominate a
them,
game
that's
from
boring.
beginning to end.
To them, that's boring. You know what I mean? You know what's the best thing about the NBA? The commentating. Even though Marv Albert is the man, but I mean, like, the commentating makes up for the lack of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, 3-pointer, bam! That's fun. But
back then, Michael Jordan was on all offensive and all defensive teams every single season because he earned it, not just because his name was big, which is why a lot of the players get it now. And
well, most Knicks fans, when we lost to the Bulls, we rooted for the Bulls. I did.
I couldn't. I did.
I did. If the Bulls beat us, I was like, oh, here goes Jordan, turn him up.
I loved watching Jordan play and despised every second he was on the court because he was killing my team. 63 points here, 64 points here. Oh, I'm dying with the flu, but let me just drop 70.
Yeah. Were you happy, though, when we finally beat the Bulls?
Oh, yeah, even though the foul was...
you mean with Pippen?
The Scottie Pippen on Hubert Davis foul. I mean, that's the only reason we beat him.
Well, of course, but it's yes and no because Jordan wasn't there. That kind of bothered me.
Well,
the 94 season.
I was happy to see the Knicks, the team that was the Knicks then move on because they deserved it. Charles Oakley,
I know.
Anthony Mason, John Starks, they were all heart.
Too, Anthony Mason.
So little talent and so much heart on that team.
Yo, our team was a beast.
Houston.
No, fuck Houston.
Houston was the man.
No.
I like Houston.
Houston was a really good
Miami, baby.
Houston's a good player, but he's not a Knick. He's not grimy. He's not dirty. He's not Latrell Sprewell.
He's a shooter.
He's not Marcus Camby.
Question for you.
What?
Question for you guys. Knicks rivalries, aside from the obvious Chicago Bulls.
Pacers.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
definitely.
Okay, hold on. Pacers or Miami Heat?
Both.
Both
were amazing.
You have to pick one.
Pacers. Hands down.
Reggie Miller.
Because of Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller. Get him giving the choke sign to Spike Lee.
I got into an argument.
Watch that documentary, by the way. It's phenomenal.
I got into an argument with Stephen A. Smith from ESPN on Twitter, going back and forth with him. I said, Reggie Miller, the only reason he's in the Hall of Fame is because of the Knicks-Pacers rivalry. Because if you didn't have that, no one would care who a shooting guard from Indiana is that averaged 17 points a game. He didn't even average over 20 a game. He was averaging 17 points a game.
He still was clutch in the playoffs, though.
No, but only because he rose to that occasion.
I agree.
But
that's what makes players,
exactly.
right? I mean, but I agree with you.
But I said that to him, and he was coming. Well, first of all, Stephen A.
he's
Smith,
a jerk.
Yeah, he's an absolute ass. And
how is that guy on TV?
I don't know. But when he argues,
he's awful.
When he argues, he doesn't argue with stats. He was just calling me names on Twitter, and I'm like, "This is how you argue."
He doesn't know how to talk.
I was like, he didn't deserve to be a Hall of Fame.
I can't stomach him more than maybe 5 minutes.
No.
I have to change the channel.
Yeah.
I'd rather listen to Bill O'Reilly, and I don't like Bill O'Reilly, and he's gone now too. But
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah.
I cannot. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
His metaphors are I don't understand at all.
How does he get on TV?
I don't get it. He
Anybody interested in these three guys? We weigh man rant.
He starts to compare things, and I'm like, where are you going with this? Same. I mean, there's times where when Colin Cowherd, I was listening to Colin Cowherd.
I hate that guy.
His metaphors are even bad. But
that's the one he goes against
all the time. Stomach him.
No.
This is it. But Stephen A. Man, he takes the cake with his metaphors. Man, I can't stomach him either.
A big issue with the NBA now is the fact that exactly what you brought up. There's quote unquote
that's
rivalries,
where I was go with that,
but they're nowhere near what they used to be because A, guys aren't on teams long enough. You know what I mean? And B, it's so ticky-tack now. It's like watching a soccer game. As soon as you brush against somebody, they fly across the court.
What's up with these fouls?
They all flop.
Everything is
flop, and LeBron's the worst.
Oh, he's a jerk.
And
everything is a foul.
Yeah, everything.
Oh, and they're like this, and they argue everything.
Could you imagine them playing in the 90s?
Please.
With Oakley going down between Oakley and Mason, you were getting
Celtics
clothesline.
versus Lakers, the physical play.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Not even that. Detroit Pistons, the bad boys.
Yeah.
They would throw people around
they
left
would
and
beat
right.
anybody on the court.
Yeah.
If it was playing...
Bill Laimbeer literally punch people.
I watched that. You ever watch that 30-30? What do you call it? ESPN documentary?
No.
It's called Bad Boys. It's phenomenal.
Heath and I were discussing in the car. We're on the way up. We were like, we would respect LeBron a lot more if he would just shut up. If he would just shut up, play his game, stop blaming everybody for failures.
Yeah.
Okay. It's this fault. This is the reason.
I never watch it. He does that.
And I didn't hit this basket because I was fouled. And he's sitting there arguing over the ref over every call. You know what I mean? If you just sat there and you played your heart out and you played the game and you shut up, okay, I think he would earn a lot more respect because he is a great player.
You don't think he's done enough damage?
No, he can't bring it back now. But
he's back in Cleveland.
Maybe.
No. But I'm saying if Jordan lost, he ate it. He put it on his own shoulders. Like him.
He never lost the finals.
No. But I'm saying that's
one of
the
the
type
classic.
of play. That's what makes you a champion. And he had that drive. You know what I mean? And whether you respect Jeter or not, he had that same drive.
Oh, man. We had a great 40 minutes, and you brought it back there.
I was going to throw a Met in there, too, but forget it now.
It's too late. You can never compare the two.
First of all, I don't know a Met to compare it to.
Why? Who would you compare it to?
No. No, I wouldn't do that either. I wouldn't do that.
Oh, you're a star shortstop? You wouldn't...
He's not a star shortstop.
I don't want to get back to baseball, but I do want to know this. Who would be your Met that you would throw in there?
What do you mean? It's the all-time best?
With like Jordan, Jeter, these type of guys.
When I think of
John Franco,
my favorite.
Would you shut up for 5 seconds?
I've never been a Franco fan.
No, he was over.
Yeah, I agree. I just think his story is pretty cool. That he was.
No, his story is good, but
from the city. Now that's pretty cool. But no. When I think of the New York Mets, for me, it's a tie between Ron Darling and I do like Keith Hernandez. Keith Hernandez was my all-time favorite.
I was going to say Hernandez.
Keith Hernandez has won more Golden Globes. More Golden Gloves
than any other baseball player.
And by the way, more than Mr. Mattingly, and also had a ring. He beats Mattingly.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember that.
That's fine.
But
I'm not a Manly fan, so
but no, that's it. I don't know. But remember, Keith Hernandez wasn't a homegrown guy either. He's from St. Louis.
My Met was Gary Carter.
Well, of course, but to me, well, again, I don't know.
He came from Montreal, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he's an Expo, too. You know, a lot of the Mets weren't homegrown.
It's amazing how the Mets stole those guys
Yeah.
to win that title.
The Mets are the Mets are the most notorious team for getting rid of. He had to go. They're the most notorious people.
Yeah, he had trees jumping out in front of him.
Yeah. That you got to be an idiot to say that we make the best trades, we make the worst trades. My worst trade that I grew up with was Lenny Dykstra and Roger McDowell for Juan Samuel. And that was horrible. Horrible. Wow. I like Greg Jeffries too, but that was a
wasn't McDowell like the one that he was like the jokester in the clubhouse too,
yeah,
right?
Always, yeah. He during the Red Sox World Series, he was in the back, you know, it's outside. He burned leaves to stay warm. They're just sitting there, they're burning leaves, and you see them just burning leaves.
That's the only thing I liked about AJ Burnett when he was a Yankee. He was a big prankster. He was hitting everybody with what?
Oh, he's the one that started
after
the whipped cream, right? I think he's the one that started.
Yeah, he was the one doing that.
Yeah.
And then I think
he blinded a couple people too.
I think Gardner took it up after that. What do you mean blinded a couple people?
I was trying to make something up, but anyway.
You're awful.
Oh my
God! Too easy, man. I was trained very well.
No, I think he's just jealous that the Yankees have more prestige than
No.
Is this going to be an everyday?
No, honestly, I don't.
Thing?
You know what's funny? I think there are Met fans that are jealous. I think most New York fans. I don't think I'm jealous of the. Remember, I grew up a Yankee fan. You got to remember that. When we first came to Miami from Puerto Rico,
did they run over your dog?
No, you know what I think happened well, no,
because you went extremely the other direction.
Well, I have a reason for what I don't like the Yankees. I had a bad experience with the Yankees. I used to work for a company that did, at the time, this is before Make-A-Wish came out, but when I worked for a company where we did, we sponsored for Special Olympics, that I can say, and we sold magazines, and then 12.5% went to that organization. Right. Well, we actually had a fundraiser where kids came and we asked them to write down what they wanted to do, and these are special needs children. At the time, they were called special needs children, and we wrote a letter, and it was the Yankees anonymously, and I wasn't a hater then, and we sent a letter with all the kids. We put their hands, a big poster, asking they wanted a day at the park where they can run the bases. Yeah. And we received a letter back from the office of Steinbrenner stating, we do not allow children to play on our field because only stars play there. And the day we heard that, I never rooted for the Yankees. Now, that came from the actual office of George Steinbrenner.
So who knows if they even saw it?
Doesn't matter. Then that's even worse, because if you don't even know what's coming out of your office, it's worse. So, that was it. And my boss at the time, who was a diehard Yankee fan, instantly became a Cleveland Indian fan. I don't know why he picked Cleveland Indians, but I think he was originally from there. And from that moment on, I refused to ever root for the Yankees.
That puts a lot of perspective on your hatred, because it was so like
that's the reason. So, like for example, I don't root for Curtis Granderson, and he plays for the Mets. I refuse to write anybody who's down the pinstripes. I will never. You can ask my wife. My wife is right here. You can ask my wife. When Curtis Granderson comes up, I go, let's go, move up, let's go. And even if he was the winning run, I go, oh, please don't let him get the winning run. Yeah. I'd rather lose.
This is what I mean by insanity.
Yeah,
this
I can't.
Is insane.
If you don the pinstripes, you are dead to me. I cannot root for you. No, sorry. Can't do it.
Wow.
You know how painful it was to watch Willie Randolph?
Oh, him coaching?
Didn't care that we lost.
That's right. The way you treated him, he should have never been there anyway. He treated him like
it was great when he was fired, though.
Yes, treat him like you were running the team.
It's awesome.
Do you think a lot of the jealousy actually comes from the fact that the ownership? I mean, that the Yankees actually have owners that invest in the team and
not
want to do well.
Ponzi schemes.
I don't know. Well, I mean, that was stupid. I mean, that's dumb. I don't know. I mean, I look at baseball history and say
Mets ownership wants them to do bad, but it's just like it just seems that I mean, it's the Steinbrenners.
They have the money
You
and
know,
they don't seem to want to spend it.
The Steinbrenners have.
I don't think the Wilpons have the money.
Have the
they did
focus.
at one point before they lost it all.
And I just think the Wilpons are just
I don't
like
think the Wilpons are baseball fans.
going through. Yeah, there you go.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
But I don't think that's where the hatred is. I think the hatred is the fact that the Mets fans
Not hatred,
are
jealousy.
okay. We'll do both. And I don't think it's jealousy.
They
I
are
think it's-
hand in hand.
I think it's generations passed down from the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Giants leaving, and that's really, I think that's really where it comes from. And then you tie in the fact that the Yankees keep winning and the Mets don't, and that's where the jealousy. So I think there was hatred, then to jealousy.
But on the flip side, I see it's, as a Yankee fan, I do not dislike the Mets.
That's because the Mets haven't won as many times as the Yankees. But if you,
There's jealousy.
No, but I'm telling you, I just admitted to that. I said to you that I think it's a little bit of both. Like, for example, mine is the letter, right? That's why I don't like the team. But at the same time, I don't understand the whole. So you won 27 championships, right? Or 20, whatever it is. Great. But let's look at the history. There was only 4 teams back in those days.
Yeah.
So somebody had to be the elite team. And by the way, the record was the Red Sox at first until the whole Bambino trade.
Yeah.
But listen, again, the Red Sox, he could have went somewhere else. He went to the Yankees. So he went to the Yankees. But to me, Ruth was just as good when he was on the Red Sox. So he's not a true New York Yankee, in my opinion. And I'm not just saying that. He was a Red Sox. Why don't you acknowledge the fact that he was a Red Sox?
Because do the Red Sox even acknowledge the fact he was a Red Sox?
Yes, they do. If you go to
Other than saying it's the curse.
It is, well, because it was a curse to them. Yeah. You know, it was. We haven't won since he left.
But it's not like they
I don't think
celebrated Babe Ruth.
He wasn't there long. They traded him when he was like a young kid.
No, he wasn't a young kid.
Yes, he was.
He was already pitching very well, and he was already hitting very well. He was he was good enough. He wasn't great, but he was good enough.
Hey, granted, we're not looking at this at the computer now, but how many years do you think he played for the Red Sox before they traded him?
I don't know. My computer does not look up Yankee material. I'll look it up for you. Hold on. I'll look it up. That's actually a really good question. Babe Ruth. How do you spell it? Okay,
I think the reason Yankee fans can root for the Yankees and not hate the Mets is because we don't see the Mets as a threat.
I can go with that. But just because I say that, like when I say you don't hate the Mets because they're not winning as much, that's not jealousy. That's just a fact. Here's a great example. I just hit in the head.
That must hurt.
Most people that have grown up with the Jeter and four-core, era, can't comprehend why they're not winning now. Now it's we got to get Harper. They're used to that. That's the mentality of the Yankees.
No, right now the mentality has changed.
They have no other choice. Everybody on their team got old.
Well, I mean,
just like the Mets.
No, the mentality has changed.
We finally got smart. We went after. But here's what the Mets do. We went out and got youth. Got us to the World Series. What's the first thing we do? We keep in old players.
Yeah.
We got Cabrera. We got Bruce. We don't need them.
No.
There's
need
plenty.
To get younger.
We could have. Yeah. We could have got McCutchen years ago. Now I'm saying it was a definite. Nobody chased McCutchen.
No.
You let Gomez go. Mind you, without Gomez going, we wouldn't have got Cespedes. Without Cespedes and Murphy. Now, Murphy, listen. Here's the bottom line with Murphy. Met fans will tell you, we should have kept Murphy. Okay. As a spiritual person...
I like how you make Mets fans sound a little slow.
Well, it's the truth. Here's the thing. You could never have predicted Murphy was going to be unbelievable in the playoffs. He did. Great. So was Beltran. There you go. Right? Murphy is still doing well. Okay, but guess what? If you're a real Met fan, you know that you always knew Murphy was a good hitter. You didn't think he was going to be an all-star hitter. So he is. Big deal. But that's not why the Mets got rid of him. Or didn't sign him. They got rid of him because as him being whatever kind of spiritual, he was over proselytizing. For those of you that are proselytizing. For those of you who don't know what that means, he was trying to bring up religious in every aspect of this guy's life. You don't do that in baseball.
Yeah, I
he
heard
did.
prostituting. when you
Proselytizing. So and when I heard that, I'm like, that sucks. He was a very negative person in the inside. He was, and that's when Gary Cohen, he bit the bullet. He said it 2 months before. They eventually didn't re-sign him. He said on Boomer and Carton show, they had him interview, and he was like, "Listen, he's a very. I'm not a big Murphy fan. We can get the clip. I'm not a big Murphy fan. I don't condone negative behavior.
Yeah.
90% of the time, and a lot of guys didn't like him. That's why they got.
Well, no.
Was it a bad decision on paper and batting?
If he's like that, then no.
Yeah, but. He probably wouldn't have batted well with us because
if you don't want that, if he's not helping the atmosphere, it makes a difference. What I like about this team isn't the fact that they're winning; it's how they're winning. It's that they're young, they're scrappy.
Oh, you mean the Yankees?
Yeah,
the Yankees. This is what I said to somebody today. The Yankees of today.
It's the Yankees from '96 all over again.
No, I disagree.
Or '98.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just a totally different type of New York Yankees, and I'll even say this: it is a type of Yankees team that I don't mind saying is very, very interesting to watch. I'll say it that way.
Yeah.
And I think it's because there's not one dominant player. Everybody's contributing. Mm-hmm. Whereas they were shoving Jeter down our throats. I don't care.
Well, I can see a new core.
Stop shoving a player down our throats. Sanchez? So he said, big deal.
Yeah.
He ain't great.
I see the new core four being Judge, Severino, Betances.
You think they're gonna stay?
Yeah, Yankees and Sanchez.
Huh? I don't think they'll stay.
Yeah, who's gonna pay them more?
Listen, there's always somebody with money.
They're gonna stay. Once if you have the opportunity to stay a Yankee, you're gonna stay.
I don't know.
Would they be smart to stay?
Seattle,
of course.
Seattle came and snuck in and took Cano away.
Because we weren't willing to pay him. If we were willing to pay him, we would have kept him.
That was way too much money.
Yeah, I understand that.
If we were
that's like a Murphy. And look at how good that's played for him.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, but if you're going to play devil's advocate, you got to have the facts. We weren't willing to pay him that much.
But nobody was willing to pay Reyes either on the Mets. And look at how good that played out for the Florida Marlins and Toronto. Yeah. And now we inherited them back.
Said, who's gonna pay them more? I mean, if you get like a team like Washington that comes up and is going to pay them stupid money, you know what I mean? Who knows? They might just go. You don't know.
I don't think they do that. Now, the Yankees seem to treat homegrown talent differently. They just do. I mean, I think they let Cano go mostly because they didn't see his talent being worth the amount of money. Yes, he's going to bat 300 every season.
I'm just glad
he's not going to carry the team.
I'm glad that they're done with, and I hope they are, that they're done with the long
contracts
of players that are 32, 33 years old, and then they sign them for 7 or 8 years. Okay, because you're going to get them in their prime for like another 2 or 3 years. And then you're just going to see the fall off.
Yeah, if you're going to sign 7 years.
That's exactly what is going to happen with Cano. Okay? You're going to see him in his prime, maybe another year, 2 years, 3 years at the most. And then from that point forward, you're just going to see a steady decline and then the cliff.
Yeah, same thing with Teixeira and A-Rod.
Right. So, I mean,
if you're
that's what I mean. The philosophy of the Yankees has changed. And it's changed last year. It changed, and I think that was the plan. Even going 6 months before last year was, listen, we got the older players, we have to ride it out until the contract is up or whatever, and then after that, splendid move getting rid of A-Rod. Just eat the money and just let it go.
Should have happened
last year.
Real quick.
Should have happened years earlier.
Real quick to answer the question about Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth played for the Red Sox from 1914 to 1919. 1919, 4.5 years, because he left during the trade. He batted in those years. Batting average was 308, 342 hits.
No, he was a good player.
He was a good player.
He was a little above average at the time.
But I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that.
Well, the story behind that is the Red Sox owner. He was in financial trouble. He couldn't afford to keep him.
Yeah, it was mostly money,
But
wasn't
and
it?
it's the same as it happens now. It's
Trade him for cash.
Of course, again, it's one of those things. Like that's my point. I'll tell that to people all the time. They're like, "Oh, you just mad." You know, let's be real. What if he went to the Giants?
Well, not even that.
What
What
if
if
he
the
went
Red Sox
somewhere?
owner wasn't in financial trouble? He probably would have been a
And
Red
we
Sox.
could be sitting here talking about the Red Sox at 28 championships. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's how I try to, and it never works.
It all comes down to, well, I mean, you have. It also helps that when Steinbrenner took over the team, he was willing to do literally anything.
Well,
to win.
Steinbrenner was a phenomenal owner.
Yeah, he was literally.
I can't. And then in some of the stories he I heard about that he did with people that were like with that story about the kid. There was a kid in front of Yankee Stadium and he was spray painting it. Mm-hmm. He was doing graffiti. Right. And a man walked up to him and says, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm doing this." He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "All right." He goes, "Well, I'll tell you what. You stop painting my walls, and I'll give you a job." And he's like, "Who are you?" He goes, "I'm George Steinbrenner."
Yeah.
Kid didn't even know who he was, and once he said his name, he still didn't know who he was. So he made him clean the wall, and then he gave him a job. And the guy stayed there for like 20 some odd years, and he got off the streets. That's a cool story. You don't hear stories like that.
But that story makes me wonder if Steinbrenner had any idea that letter that you sent ever got.
Like I said, even if he didn't, I'm willing to say that. I didn't say. I'm going by what it said. It could have been a stamp, for all I know. I wish I still had the letter because I had it for years. I had it years.
That line's vile. It's disgusting, and I don't see that.
But he did not know it wasn't for children of needs either. He didn't know.
Doesn't matter.
I'm just saying. I gotta be respectful and be honest. He did not. It wasn't like we labeled it for kids of special needs. Maybe that could have been different too.
Oh no, but it shouldn't have mattered. Whoever sent that in that letter is vile.
So that was it.
Disgusting.
And we read it to the kids too. We did. So, but anyway. So yeah, that's the thing with the Babe Ruth. So that's pretty good.
Quick thing, because I want this on record because the A-Rod thing is just pissing me off. The Yankees, if they had cut him, first of all, there had to have been some kind of clause as far as conduct in the contract that if you're caught doing anything illegal, which steroids is, your contract's null and void. And the fact that there must not have been that clause is ridiculous. You're the New York Yankees. Do you not know how to draft a contract? Do you not know how to cover your ass?
I don't think they even expected him to have that.
I don't think they expected that either.
No, I didn't. I didn't think so. No. That'd be like Jeter. If Jeter would have been caught, baseball would have died.
I get it. No, I get it. But still, shouldn't
would have.
In any contract, you're giving somebody that much money. It didn't have to be steroids. It could have been anything.
I think that when they saw A-Rod, they just didn't associate him with steroids.
Well, Texas gave him the contract, didn't they? We just took it on.
But I mean, that'd be like
the first time.
Well, that's like Piazza. I don't think Piazza did steroids. I don't, and not because I'm a Mets fan. I just don't. I don't think he did. Would I be surprised if he did? Probably not.
I don't think it should matter because everyone was on it at the time.
I don't know. I think they should allow steroids.
Were on it.
Personally, yeah, I think the game would be better.
Yeah, we pay to watch.
Now batting, weighing 500 pounds.
Anyway, what I wanted to say about A-Rod is if we'd cut him years earlier, A-Rod wouldn't have been able to sign with another team. Otherwise, he would have forfeited the money coming back from the Yankees. Everyone who talks about A-Rod says all he cared about is playing baseball. You're telling me another team wouldn't have signed him and that he wouldn't have wanted to play for another team?
The Mets looked at him.
Yeah, but he's also been known to lie, too. So, I mean, they've caught him in many lies.
I mean,
the Mets were considering
at that point. I remember that time.
At that point,
they wanted to trade him for Wright, and 2 pitchers.
Wow, should have done that in Harvard. At the moment, we should have done that.
Yeah, well, not really, because look at right now.
At the point, yeah, but you don't know if things would have happened the same way.
That's true.
I mean, how much did you really get $25 million worth of baseball out of A-Rod for each year those last 3 years?
He got him a championship, so...
I'm saying each of the last 3 seasons.
I know,
you could have cut him 3 years earlier.
He still got him a championship. I would have taken A-Rod if I got a championship.
Was it him though? No, it was
Sabathia, Burnett, and Teixeira.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's just one player, but he was there to contribute, and he had a big game in the Twins.
He
had that big game, so you kind of.
Yeah, but he really.
And I'm saying this. You know what I'm saying?
Out of all the seasons he was a Yankee, though, he only had that one good playoff run. Every other time he was in the playoffs.
I will say one thing: there is no good of playoffs unless the Yankees are in. I think it's
Nobody even wants to watch it.
Yeah, and I think
No.
it's because it's like a Howard Stern thing. It's like we want to see him lose. I honestly,
Well,
I'm being honest.
yeah. People that
But
love
there's
him want to
just-
see him win. The rest of the country, which is 99% of the
It's like
country,
the Patriots.
hates him and they want to see
Same
him
thing.
lose.
Great Super Bowl, by the way. And
No.
yeah, it was phenomenal.
Oh, I
Loved
loved
every
it.
minute of it.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was phenomenal. That was awesome.
I can't say that.
Falcons handed them the game.
I can't say
They
it's a
handed
great
them
Super
that game.
Bowl.
I can't believe people actually saying that the game was rigged.
I won't go that far, but it's a little
dude,
ridiculous.
It is
how quick-
ridiculous, but it happened. That's sports.
I blame the Falcons coach for that loss.
Of course, you got to blame somebody.
That is all that's all coaching. I mean, granted, the play. I mean, there was those plays that were questionable from Atlanta towards the end of the game, but
Well, that's
you know,
football, though. There's
where
always
you,
bad
where
calls.
You keep. All you got to do is run.
Yeah,
run out
they
the
had
clock.
like almost 100 yards.
Well,
rushing.
it's like Lynch. It's like Lynch.
Run out the clock.
Same thing with
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah.
Run out the clock. Run out the clock. You know, don't sit
Patriots
there.
were not
don't
stopping
sit
their
there.
run game.
I
You
think
had a guaranteed field goal, and you're gonna drop back 10 yards.
Yeah, that was dumb.
To throw the ball.
That was
That
stupid.
You
questionable
think it
call.
wasn't? You think it wasn't greed?
Huh?
You don't think it wasn't greed a little bit? They figured, you know what? Let's really.
They wanted to.
Let's really dominate
Oh no,
this
I
team.
wouldn't be
No,
surprised.
I just think
if,
they wanted an explanation point at that point of the game.
Okay.
That would have
I'll
sealed
give
it
you
right
that.
there.
Yeah, I
I,
give you that.
that and I do agree. It might have been a little bit of greed where they wanted to do to the Patriots what the Patriots usually do to everyone else, which is
I
run
think
up
so.
the
I mean,
score.
because remember, they were running the whole game to the point where it was like, there's no way they could come back.
It also hurt that the backup running back got hurt.
And I'll be the first to tell you, I was at that couch. I said it. It's not over. I had that feeling. I really did. You know, I was there. You guys, I was there. I kept telling you, it's not over. There's just something about it.
Well,
For
we sat
three
there.
and a half quarters, that was an amazing Super Bowl.
Well, we sat there.
It was brutal for the first
No,
three and a half
no,
quarters.
because I was here. We sat there and we were like, if the Patriots tie this game up, Patriots are going to win the game.
Yeah.
And-
Well, see,
No, we were. I remember saying it. We were like,
I
we
know
were
you said
watching
it.
and we
I
were
was
like,
when they tied it. I just kept thinking, okay, we have a shot now to really win. I would hate for us to blow it. That's what I
at
kept
that-
saying. But
yeah,
I
but that's
I
the thing.
felt more
At that,
confident.
at
though.
that point, the Falcons weren't doing anything on the field.
Well, I think they were just shell shocked
So-
at that point to be tied.
All they had to do was kick that field goal with like 3 minutes left. They would have been up by 10.
I know. Well, I'm happy. I got my championship hat. I'm good. Yeah, baby.
Do you want to call this one an episode? We've got about 15 minutes to 10, so...
Oh my God, we've been
each
talking that long?
We can each get a rant in.
1 hour and 21 minutes. How many people stick around here to listen to that?
A lot. Most podcasts are 2 or 3 hours.
Everybody in America. All right,
All right, so,
Go ahead.
So we'll each end with a rant.
go ahead.
I'll start so you
Okay.
guys can think, because I already have something on the tip of my tongue.
Oh boy! Now wait, hold on. What's the stipulations on this rant?
You can say-
We cannot interrupt.
It could be... you guys... Well, no.
Are we timing the rant?
No, because... I guess we
Because
can
we
do
could
that.
be here for like an hour.
I don't know. Well, it'll just be a rant and nobody interrupts and it's just a rant. It's like an outage.
How many minutes do you think you need without being interrupted to get your point across before we rant?
3 to 5 minutes.
Let's
Wow.
test it. We'll test
What?
it out.
Okay.
It goes by quick.
Hey, you know what? We'll test it out. It's the first time we're doing it,
All right.
and if it doesn't work, we'll rehash it and figure it out another time. All right, fair enough. All right,
Yeah.
let me get the stopwatch out, and I'll stop you at 5 minute mark.
Okay.
I'll give you the 30
If
seconds.
I even get there. I might not even
You may
need
not
to
get there. If you have 30 seconds left to go, I'll give you the 3.
Okay. If the Knicks trade Porzingis, I'm done reading, watching, caring about NBA at all, ever. The only good thing that Jackson has done his entire time he's been with the Knicks is draft Porzingis. Now you're talking about trading him because he doesn't want to play in a triangle. He's not happy with how the team's dealing with Carmelo. He doesn't appear to want to be there. You have that tweet where he tweeted out Clippers and then quickly deleted it. And everybody's concerned about them trading him. If you trade him, you are making the worst move now. You're making a worse move now than Isaiah Thomas did the entire time he ran the Knicks, because this is your future. This is your Dirk Nowitzki. You know what I mean? And what's even worse is he's going to be working out with Dirk all summer long to get even better. You don't think Dirk's going to be in his ear talking about how great Dallas is when your contract's up with the Knicks, which is only 4 years for a rookie contract? we might not even have this kid that long. But we're going to be stuck with Phil Jackson, whose entire point of coming to this team was to be able to draw names because he's a quote-unquote champion. All right? He hasn't done anything. LeBron blew him off. Thank God I didn't want him. All these guys have blown him off that he was supposed to be bringing to this team, and he hasn't done it. Not only that, but now, even though I don't like Carmelo, but now you're going to get rid of the only all-star you have up to this point. Will Porzingis be one? Yes. He actually might have been one already. I don't even follow the NBA, to be honest with you right now, because I hate Carmelo. But keep Porzingis, let Jackson ride off into the sunset. He did everything he could as a coach. He's been a god-awful GM. That's all I have to say.
1 minute, 55 seconds.
See?
Randy, you have a follow-up or a question for him or a
No. Just rant.
No.
It's just ranting and out.
That's it.
Okay.
The discussion's over.
So that was 2 minutes.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Randy, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to end up switching gears to wrestling. My rant is going to be about the Intercontinental title. I cannot stand what they're doing with the IC title right now. It is not for A-list. It's for B-list wrestlers and up-and-coming C-listers. I do not think Dean Ambrose is a main lister, and I think, well, I'm sorry, let me repeat that. Dean Ambrose is an A-lister. He should not be holding the Intercontinental title. I understand that you want to give it meaning, and that you want to give prestige to the title, but give the opportunities to the people, to the up-and-comers. Give it to the people that deserve the IC title, right? It is not for people that have held the main title, right? You want to give it to Dolph Ziggler. You want to give it to Miz. You want to give it to Finn Balor. I understand you've given them an opportunity for the main title, and they actually have that, but they are B-list stars, okay? This is what the title is for, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Oh, he beat you. 1 minute, 15 seconds. He did it faster.
That's not good.
Oof. I'm going to beat you both. I want to stay on the same topic because I've been holding back on wrestling. So we'll end on that note. Here's my rant. We live in an era growing up where the WWE was known as superstars of wrestling. For over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment. That's the way shows began. We lived in an era where wrestling told a story, where individuals had storylines that progressed within time, but the matches told the story. We lived through an era where the competition allowed individuals to rise above their statute. For example, the Attitude Era, the WCW versus WWE, allowed competition to flare, no pun intended, the wrestlers to be who they are today. With that being said, when you look at ratings where viewership goes from 4 million to 2 million, that should set the tone to say, what we're doing is not working. What is it that we were doing that is not working? You're not appealing to what the fans truly want. What they want is wrestling. That's spelled W-R-E-S-T-L-I-N-G. We want to see stars become superstars. How do you do that? Allow them the ability to have a mic, to tell their story within a match, so the matches can grow and progress, and then within time be able to build a character. Stop allowing upper management to dictate what is going to be what they think is the next superstar. You can make Roman Reigns into a star. Stop forcing people down our throats. We didn't get The Rock because we were forced. We didn't get Stone Cold because we were forced. We didn't get Bret Hart because we got these people because they told a story without telling a story. When the story was written, it was through the wrestling matches. From the wrestling matches, we discovered that there were more stars that we never even thought of become superstars. So do not allow what the past mistakes dictate the future, because all you're doing now is reliving the past and making the same mistakes. You're living the past of WCW, and you're forcing that down our throats. That's my rant.
Oh, very good.
All right, I just took care of the Twitter. Our Twitter is We May Rant. It's at We May Rant. So you can find us on Twitter. Sign up, start following us. We intend to be active on there.
And, give us some things you want us to discuss, Because you're part of the show, too, Think of yourself as a fourth person sitting in the chair over here. Throw some topics our way. Consider yourself, the fourth person sitting here.
And for the record, we actually have a sponsor. I forgot to tell you that before we went on the air.
This is news for everyone
This
involved.
is news for everyone. I've been in contact with a young girl who's come out with an album. She is actually known as Juliet Riley. She is come up with her own single. She's on Spotify. She's on iTunes, as a matter of fact, having 2 hit songs, Hero and I Believe. And she's an up-and-coming star, and hopefully maybe we can have her on a show one day and she can call in. She's best known for her music, but she was debuted through a YouTube show by a YouTube star named McJuggernuggets, and that's how she came out. But she's given us permission to advertise for her album, and we just want to thank her for her support.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
So,
All right.
we good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
So, last time we closed, you didn't like my close.
Well, all right.
And it didn't make sense. So I thought about it, and I agree, it didn't make sense. So this is just based off the fly. I think we should close and say we all have rants. We all have rants we'd like to use and like to say. But the most important thing is when you're on this show, we may rant. We may want to rant and have different types of topics. But the most important thing is we can look at each other as individuals and be able to have those rants in a professional and respectful way. So rant all you want, but when you're here, know this: we may rant.
It's good.
You didn't like that either.
Well, that means it's long.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not going to say that every single time.
Well, no,
but
but
I think that's the logistics of what we're here for.
I think it just comes down to, although people that don't follow sports don't understand why we can be so passionate about it. We embrace it because it gives us something to believe in underdogs and feel like we're connected to a team that's doing well. You know what I mean? Like, and because we're so passionate about it and our connection is so strong, we rant about the things we're passionate about. We rant about things that are good. We rant about things that are bad. We rant about bullshit that we hear. I mean, in the news and whatnot, players making stupid ass decisions like going to nightclubs every time, even though you still end up getting stabbed and shot. And why are you going still? You know what I mean? Just we rant about things that interest us, and sports interest us, and we're passionate about it. And ranting is just being passionately arguing among friends. I mean, it doesn't need to be that long either. You know what I mean? But that's basically what...
No, that's good.
It's a combination of what you've just said and that. Like, the fact that sports fans are die hard. You know what I mean? We cry when our teams lose. We cheer when they win. And there's not many things that can move people like that. You know what I mean? So...
We may
it's
rant.
important to us, yeah. So we may rant once in a while. You?
I'm in agreement with everything.
And that, my friends,
I like it all. I like it a lot.
see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.